Hello and welcome back to Val Verde Broadcasting. We are sad, middle-aged slaves chained to the churning belly of the everlasting content machine. And once again, we're here to talk to you about returning franchise sequels or remakes in the form of the new trailers that we have just watched for Fantastic Four First Steps, Predator Badlands, and the upcoming series Alien Earth. We're about to talk about all of that now and find out more by watching the whole video, which starts now.
Val Verde Broadcasting.
I am Richard Jackson, this is Duncan Casey. You either know us or you don't. Some of you, a bunch of you jumped on recently, which we're really excited about, so thanks for coming on. It's really nice to have you. We recently pushed through 5,000 subscribers, which we are celebrating at the moment, and that's very good. A bunch of you are new, so thanks for coming on. We're really excited and happy to have you. The timing here is a bit bad because we just released stuff talking about these movies, and then like as we released it, they dropped new shit, so we're kind of back talking about them again. Which really speaks to the state of our lives. But let's start by talking about the newest trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps, which we were already quite excited about, weren't we? We were in a kind of nice space, I think, with regards to this film. What did you think about the newest trailer, Duncan, for Marvel Studios content, owned by Disney, Fantastic Four First Steps? What did you think?
I always feel a bit like the unsigning. Like,
when you're like, yeah.
Just sort of doing, I don't know what else to do. I go stand it. Yeah. Sorry. What is the one where, is it Father Ted, or there's something where it just gives up? Because it's like. Yes, sorry. Back to Fantastic Four First Steps.
Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yes, the new trailer. So these two have been released seemingly quite close together, which is unusual, but cool, fine, whatever. This one is slightly more into the kind of darker, for want of a better word, or sort of the kind of tone of it has been made slightly more serious. Obviously, we're still all the funky stuff. I really
into the ominous thing.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the Silver Surfer in there. You've got Galactus, obviously, and all that, which I'm sure we'll come on to talk about. I dig it. I like it. I think we've said this before. It's like, just because your world is kind of wacky and zany and fun and poppy doesn't mean you can't take it seriously. You know, there can't be serious themes.
Yeah, serious emotional kind of themes and general, like, yeah.
So I think it's more of the same. I like it. I suppose a few more plot beats have been revealed, but Mark Gatiss is in it, which is
which is nice. I didn't know about that. That's a cool person to put in. It makes me go, when you're like, oh, you watch British television. That's cool.
It's a bit like John Hannah. Is it John Hannah who's at the start of
The Last of Us?
The Last of Us,
yeah, which I really. No, but still, it's like a kind of. Well, John has a bit of a movie star, but I appreciate, like, I've worked with him. I've lensed him. He's a very nice man. Like him, and that scene in The Last of Us is really cool. Like, and it's a similar role for Mark Gatiss in this, in that he's a kind of TV presenter guy. So that's really cool. I mean, I think it's like, there's kind of obviously the emotional weight that's being teased in this. The kind of, we already knew it was like a super period 60s thing. I mean, it's funny because I'm going to go see Thunderbolts on Friday night, which has had some good notices and could be fun. I have been reflecting recently on the dire state of Marvel affairs and just thinking about because fucking Avengers Doomsday comes out next year, and I feel like the previous everything since Endgame has been such a mess that it's like I have none of the excitement I had for any Avengers movie ever. Like even the one like Ultron turned out to be a bit of a dud, but like I have no excitement for Avengers Doomsday really, and like the cast, not the cast so much, the characters in it, I'm like. And they've had to shovel in a bunch of X-Men to make people watch it and stuff. And presumably, because, classically, Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four villain usually. No sign of Doctor Doom in this. We're going with Galactus, which is a classic Fantastic Four villain, played by Ralph Ineson, also known as Finchy from The Office. But he's really amazing dramatic actor, so that's cool. And Galactus being a big, giant space stompy man and not a gas cloud like in that You remember those original Fantastic Four movies? Which
we went through that at that time. It was because they did it with Green Lantern as well. It was just a big sort of diuretic cloud with teeth.
I was just thinking about those old there's those Tim Story Fantastic Four movies, and it's like it's just the most 2000s approach. It's just like watching frosted chips and a wallet chain for 2 hours either way. It feels like, it's just really like, oh, do you know what this needs? Nickelback, which is what they did for Spider-Man stuff, because they were goofy. I was just thinking, you can't say that those aren't goofy. They're just shit.
I think it's sort of not. It's one of those. I think, like you say, it's very 2000s. It's very sort of like sort of plastic goofy, but doesn't want to. But is also embarrassed about its own source material and.
And trying to be Spider-Man, but not really understanding why that worked, because it was that post-Spider-Man time where we're in that interesting space, like after Spider-Man, but before The Dark Knight, and no one really knew how to be Sam Raimi and or Christopher Nolan, so you just got these really weird. It's like, we ended up hilariously, ironically, with the Dark Fantastic Four movie, which is like, okay, good, yeah, let's do that. It's
once again learning the wrong lessons from.
Exactly.
It's typical that back then sort of spreadsheet filmmaking. Now I guess you'd call it algorithm filmmaking, but it's that thing of, a little pinch of teenage, a little pinch of Gen Alpha, a little pinch of, and it's like, what's
our 18 to 25 demo thinking and whatever.
No.
So, but anyway, back to Fantastic Four. This is I got to see Thunderbolts, and I'm like, that's the excuse to go out on Friday night to the cinema with a couple of my mates, really. But it's supposed to be all right. And what happened? Captain America, New World Order, whatever. I don't really want to watch that. It doesn't look very good. And I kept up with the TV series for the longest time. But then I kind of stopped because I got bored. I haven't bothered to watch. I love Daredevil on Netflix, but the thought of more of it right now, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to watch Marvel shit right now.
Near the end of, is it Born Again or whatever it's called?
Is it good?
It is good, yeah. It's well, have I finished it? No, I did. I finished it. No, I finised it. Sorry, I finished it. Sorry, I don't remember. And I wasn't drunk, believe me. I finished it last night. No, I don't want to spoil anything. Bit anticlimactic, but I enjoyed it while I was watching it for the most part. So, and there's a really good episode in the middle in a bank. Which
I fucking love. Look, they've got Frank Castle in there. I love that version of Kingpin of D'Onofrio, but I just can't be bothered. So marvelled out.
And there is a lot of it's. If you like the original one, well, the first two series or whatever, you like this one. I think it is a bit more like that. And like I say, the best episode for me was there's one in the middle of it all, which is in a bank. But again, the best stuff is without Daredevil. That's the thing of it. I just don't think Daredevil works, which is a weird thing to say, but it's like the character of Matt Murdock works very well, and Charlie Cox is excellent at it, but I'd rather watch him. He's better off, he's more Daredevil with just a pair of red tinted glasses than he is in that Daredevil costume.
Okay.
And that just sort of, but D'Onofrio and all that is all on all cylinders, and it's definitely worth checking out.
There you go. Well, this Fantastic Four movie looks good. I want to see it. This is the Marvel. What I've been kind of torturously driving at, I suppose, is that I want to watch this one, and I will, and with enthusiasm as well, not just kind of like a strange drudge out to I guess if I have to, yeah, exactly. Oh god, we'll get to Alien Earth, but. Yeah, I just think it's ticking all the boxes. Having the Mark Gatiss thing is really nice. It shows that I don't know how well you know Fantastic Four lore, but their son is Franklin Richards, who's a amazingly, incredibly powerful, superpowered person who has big consequences in the Marvel universe and stuff. This is in another dimension. I'm assuming, and I like that cake and eat it because it could be 2025 in the Fantastic Four dimension. That's just what 2025 looks like. Or maybe it's 1968 and they're more advanced. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. The point is it has that aesthetic. Because, they've got spaceships and stuff and they're shooting on 60mm film from their little kind of fake interviews and things.
They got flying cars or whatever. And,
they got
jets.
The music's lovely. It's a really lovely, heroic, swelling kind of... it reminded me there's a really lovely documentary called Apollo 11, which is made from contemporary 75mm footage, like upscaled, and it's kind of all edited in a verite style, and it has this kind of like lots of really light electronic music, but also some kind of quite heroic driving music in it. It's a really lovely documentary, and it reminded me a bit of that, and it should do because it's the space age, right? And it's a little bit Superman-ish, which tracks because it's kind of silver golden age superhero stuff. I think we're all. Oh, well, I will speak for myself, but I'm very sold on the cast. I know Pedro Pascal's in everything at the moment, but that's because he's great. So, let him have his moment. He can get his flowers, that's fine. I don't really know the rest of them apart from him, but they tick all the boxes. One of them's a fucking cartoon rock, so I'm not sure what he's from. But like
he's from The Bear, I think. He's in The Bear.
Oh, it is the guy from The Bear. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And you've got Jennifer Kirby. As Sue Storm. And
she's British, right?
She is, yeah. She was in The Crown, not that I expect you to watch that.
No.
Not the most Republican of shows. She's very good in that. And she's in, again, you wouldn't have seen them, but the more recent Mission Impossible movies and other stuff, I believe, but I haven't. But no, she's good. No, it is a strong cast, I think, and we'll see. But I just love the fact that you've got like that robot with like tape recorders going around in its eyes.
Yes, that's Herbie, who is a Marvel. So this is because I know weird amounts of comics I've never read, but like the car's called the Fantasticar, and the robot's called Herbie, but it's capital H.E. All that, all the fucking silver.
It says at the end as well when the title card came on, it said in Fantastivision or something along the bottom.
Yes, that's it's the Cinerama logo done.
Yeah,
which is lovely. Really nice. I think they're really leaning in. There's a very clear, powerful aesthetic to it, and which you're ever going to like or not. Is
this a way of sort of doing a jumping off point where now you're going to have because it's first steps, is this going to be like, and then you're going to see the Spider-Man in this world, and then the X-Men of this universe, and then and is it like you could run these concurrently?
Oh God! I mean, my assumption is they're building towards a thing where everyone gets folded into the one universe, like Crisis style. Do you know what I mean? Because it's become such. This is I've always wanted to see. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see multiverse anything in a cinema because. What's funny is in comics is it's like we do it because we've run out of ideas and it gets really messy and then you have to clean it up. And I always love multiverse stuff. I think it's really cool when it's done well, and I love seeing alternate versions of characters, and it really excites me when it's good. But the problem is comics made a dog's dinner of it and keep having to reset it, and it's like, oh, they're doing it in movies. Don't do that. It's a bit like someone saying to you, like, yeah, but have you tried driving Formula One while sniffing glue? And it's like, well, I'm sure it's fun for a minute, but then the rest, don't do that. Like, that's definitely a bad idea. But here we are, I suppose.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, you do paint yourself into a corner, don't you, with it all? I mean, it's much in the same way, but not even just, like, even implied multiverse, like James Bond, for example, killing him off. It's like, okay, so you know it's going to be reboot time, and then it's sort of like, what are the stakes here, though? It's the same thing with that kind of stuff. It's like Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back as Dr. Doom. It's like, what are the stakes, though? This is very... because this is going to be your way of, is he going to end up being Tony Stark somehow?
Well, this is because if he, like, I think I've already said I think it's a really bankrupt decision to bring him back, but good for him. I hope he's making stacks of money. I don't hope, I know he definitely is. But if he's a version of Tony Stark that become Doctor Doom, if you just brought him back to play actual Victor Von Doom and he looks like that and he's got a wacky accent. Great. I'm fine with it. Fine. Like, get someone else. That'd be more interesting, but fine. But if he's like a Tony Stark variant that kind of like, ooh, I became Doctor Doom. It's like, it's bad enough already, mate, that you've done this. Like, don't kind of retread it like that. So that, but again, and maybe there's a post-credit scene of him going, ooh, in this, because, he's traditionally a Fantastic Four villain. Maybe he's not even from this universe. Yeah. We're starting with Galactus. Hard to say, but that is one decision where I'm kind of like, oof, that feels a bit desperate, mate. I don't know. Do you know what it is? It's Marvel's midlife crisis. It's Marvel buying an expensive sports car and leaving their wife. Like it kind of feels a bit like that. It's like, or an ill-advised trip to Turkey for a hair transplant. That's what it feels like. It's like, oh, don't know, mate. Don't know about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they come back with a better hairline and really white, straight teeth.
Yes. Well, a long scab to begin with.
Yes.
That works.
Yeah. I'm always like, how do you know that it's not going to keep receding behind that?
It does. This is the thing. Like, yeah, you're very much a man who hasn't had a hair transplant. I will say, if you want to get a hair transplant and your teeth fixed, go do it. From a bald
go fill
man.
your boots.
Oh, I got a bald man with a mouthful of smashed tombstones. Like, I'm not here to talk, but I've just chosen not to do that. That's my choice. I know people who've had it done. It looks great. Good for them. I can't be fucked with that. I walk around with scabs on my head and I'm not allowed to go outside for 6 months or whatever. Anyway, that's Robert Downey Jr. in fucking Fantastic Four. Let's do the new Fantastic Four. If he's in it, which I don't think he is.
No. But no, I'm here for it, and just on its own terms and what it looks like, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know, we are returning a bit more to that kind of pop art, pop culture-y, you know, but taking itself seriously, which is totally possible. I don't know why, you know, we've had to have years of executives thinking that the only way to make something, you know, like look at something like Batman versus Superman is you know, derisible or risible or whatever the word is, and laughable and stupid and immature, because it cannot, like, it literally is, everything's dark, everything's gloomy, everything's miserable, and you're like, that's immature. Whereas something like the Fantastic Four, in its juvenile look, actually seems way more. I don't know. I haven't seen the film.
No, you're absolutely right. But there's an apparent maturity to it because it's comfortable with itself. It's not because this is what I really think when I look at
Batman could get raped in prison.
Oh my god! Well, this is what because this serves my point so well, because Batman versus Superman, and it's something like Zack Snyder is really guilty of for a man of his age. Like, it's mature if you're 18. Because it's edgy and it's kind of like, yeah, Batman gets raped in prison and Superman's going to kill a puppy and what if everyone's got AIDS? And it's like, ugh. But then, you know, when you're older, you're more comfortable about the things you love and being at ease with that and sharing it. So yeah, doing the big dumb silly thing, it is actually more mature as long as the characters have emotional weight and da-da-da. And also, it's not the kind of first time. It's funny it took us this long, because keeping in mind in the pre-Disney days, you know, Marvel made Captain America as a straight-up period World War II thing, which was considered an interesting and somewhat brave thing to do at the time. A bunch of people who weren't around and go, no, it wasn't. It was, I was there. So, you know, in a way, people have sort of forgotten that with this, and that it's not the first time Marvel have done that. And then the last thing, because this is directed by the director of WandaVision, who I think is called Matt Shakman. I'm going to look at me cheating. I used to be really funny about this and refuse to do it, but now I'm just tired all the time. So, yeah, Matt Shakman, yeah. And I think that had a lot of potential and quite an anticlimactic end, but my fucking god, did it nail all the period stuff. I thought all the film craft of making all the sitcom eras, and that was very clever. So yeah, I all round, I think, having talked about this very recently, we continue to be excited about it. But now, ironically, with extra steps. Shall we? Unless you have anything more.
No. I mean, I suppose we didn't really touch on anything like there's the Silver Surfer in this. I suppose, is that worth touching upon?
Yeah, well, I suppose so. I mean, because we've had the Silver Surfer on film before with the voice of Lawrence Fishburne. This is because there are various Silver Surfers. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Doug Jones, wasn't it?
Doug Jones, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The marvelous stretchy body of Doug Jones, who's in all things. Yeah, this is. I don't know. There are female Silver Surfers. There's different ones, and they've just gone for this is the Herald of Galactus in this universe. Fine. The thing about people getting mad about gender swapping Silver Surfer is, like, I hate to say this because it has its own comic. In this story, Silver Surfer's not that interesting. Silver Surfer comes out and goes, all right, my boss is coming, he's massive, bye. Like, that is essentially...
It's a Herald. Yeah. It's
Herald of Galactus, yeah. So it's going to be some variation upon that. So, like... I
mean, I have no skin in that particular game. And like, I don't... In my very limited knowledge, I don't think it's not a gender swap of the same character, though, is it?
No, it's a different one as far as I know. Yeah, it's established character. Yeah,
so technically, it's not a gender swap.
Yeah, exactly. It's traditionally you would expect, because I think people might view it as that, and I don't, nicely know that I haven't seen any people doing false outrage clickbait about that, so that's fine. So I'm not. The Silver Surfer, they did loads of really groovy, introspective, cosmic stuff that I'm sure is awesome. I've not read. But in terms of how the Silver Surfer fits into the Fantastic Four's kind of Galactus origin story type thing, it's not that interesting. It's cool because it's a cool design of a T1000 what can surf. Though the Silver Surfer did come first. So I suppose that's the other thing to touch upon really, is the Silver Surfer is there. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, done. Bye. No, we've still got more to talk about. Moving on now to recently released, just after we talked about it, I think as well, is I thought this was a full-on trailer. It's just rewatching it tonight. It's still only a teaser, but it's 1:10 or 1:20 or something, and it shows a lot for Predator Badlands. Now, people so often say you only talk about Predator and Alien, but A, they keep making them, and B, people keep clicking on it. I don't know what to tell you. So Dan Trachtenberg made Prey, which we both loved very much, or liked very much. Maybe loved us a bit much, but it was good. Predator Badlands has made me go a little bit. What do you think about Predator Badlands? That's such a the kind of nonplussed like.
It's a robot and a barista predator go
from San Francisco
fight a kaiju with a lightsaber. Did somebody say Yautja? No, because that's stupid.
The director does.
You can hear it in the score. Can you hear it in the score when they're going ooga dooga chomp, and it's like no.
Oh, do you know
he's got a skin fade and a bun or whatever,
the whole
and it's
time
like
I was
all
watching
right.
it, I was like, if they use the term Yautja in this film, Duncan is going to shit.
Out of protest.
Yeah, don't you Bobby Sands it like. It's
You thought Minecraft was bad.
Yes. It's middle-aged men shitting in this one.
And throwing.
And you noticed, of course, that Elle Fanning is a Weyland-Yutani robot.
He is. Yeah, her eyes do the same roly-backy thing.
And there's a Weyland-Yutani vehicle in there as well. So, like, okay. We're going to regroup a little bit. Really like Prey. When I heard the synopsis for this ages ago, I was a bit like, I don't know about this, lads. And now I've watched the trailer, I'm like, I don't know about this, lads. Like, it's
What is the synopsis?
Youngblood predator who's considered a runt of his clan goes to hunt on the most dangerous planet of all to prove himself. A mysterious human woman is there, and they must team up to do a thing. Is how I understand it. And I was like, I don't know, man. You get, because it's the thing. Hate to say it, but Predator is kind of mostly interesting in one way, and it's in a handful of films where it works, where it's hunting a bunch of people or whatever. And I think there's a lot of bum gravy that could be had. I know there's cool comics and stuff, but. And I'm not against like this in principle, but I'm looking at it going like, is there any Predator left in this though?
But this is what happens. We've said this a million times. It's the same thing with Alien. It's like this is what happens when you take internal logic and make it external, and then realise you can't hang an entire series of movies on it. It's like that was there for the sake of that film, and it was not all explained, but it was that you knew there was an internal logic to that character, which is that's the kind of homework that filmmakers should do, so that behaviour can be with purpose on screen, even if it's not all fleshed out and explained. And because the amount of conversations I have with people who aren't necessarily film people but are film watchers, all the way up to people who are actually in the film industry and should know better, say things like, well, of course, like in that one, there was like a tree that looks like the tree from that, so we need to explain how that happens. Like, you don't need to explain it. Stop fucking explaining things. I did hear. Who was I listening to? I was listening to a podcast with someone recently, and they were talking. They filled me with a bit more confidence because they were. His surname's Wenk. That's what I remember. He's the writer of the screenwriter of the Equalizer movies and various other things. Really interesting, and he was totally saying about like, I come up with all this internal logic, but I'm very, very limited, maybe 10% I sort of show on or talk about in dialogue and stuff on screen. The rest of it's all just so I can say to Denzel Washington or whoever, this is your motivation, like this is what you're doing, but we're not going to say it, no one's going to explain it, you know, because we need that. And this is where it's all got so out of hand, because like the Predator, things like him going like, you're not armed, like it's no sport. It's like, well, that's the point of that was, okay, so that tells us something about him. But it's from a human perspective. It shouldn't be like, oh, and now we're on Yautja Prime, and now we're driving, you know, dust things, and everyone's like, ooga chaga, and it's like, we know what happened. Like, they kill things. I mean, it's really not fucking hard, is it? Like, come on, what else?
That feeling deep inside of me.
Ooga chaga, ooga
Yautja, ooga Yautja.
I mean, you know, it's I I like Dan Trachtenberg. I like what he did with Prey. I do think if he can carry over the sort of, you know, he said something with it. Nothing desperately, weighty or, you know, portentous. But I think he did say something with it. But with this, it's kind of like we're basically getting rid of all humans. I mean, there is a shot of a sort of army, I guess, of space marines or something. I mean, this is the thing we've said a long time ago about Alien versus Predator. We were like, why didn't you set it in the Alien universe and just chuck Predators into the mix? And it's kind of like, is that what you're doing? It kind of seems that way, you know. But
it's I think it's interesting. It's interesting to me that to Angelo's bit, our friend Angelo Canale, who friend of the show. I had a curry with him last year. It was very nice.
Well, we should try and see him. We're in Scotland.
I've already spoken to him about that. That's internal talk.
Yes.
He was just kind of taking the piss out of how it looks, and I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it look more human. When the Predator's called Deck, by the way, not Ant. And when the Predator,
I hope he's renamed in New Zealand. This is Dick.
Rack out with your deck out. It looks silly. He looks silly. It does. It just looks silly, and it made me go, it looks silly. And then they've got lightsabers, and I was like, oh, that looks silly. And here's the thing:
he's red this time.
So. Yeah, fuck's sake. Like,
and it's not actually hair, by the way.
Yeah, it was tendrils, right? But it's less developed because he's younger. Whatever. Like,
fine.
I because Dan Trachtenberg made it and he made Prey. I'm like, sure. But I do kind of feel like you're in a real rock and a hard place with Predator because you can't just keep repeating yourself. But equally, it's really hard to tell stories in that world because it seems like the Predator's the main character. And look, the trailer did not fill me. It did not spark joy. But I want to go into bat for it because I never want the bad Predator thing, right?
No.
And the last one was great. The one before it was really bad, you know, and that should have been a slam dunk as a Shane Black Predator movie, but there was too many hands. I think Fox, whoever's running that side of things now, seem to want to leave that alone and let them get on with it. So, you know, look, and getting to what sparked this in my head is like the Alien versus Predator thing, right? Mm. I have no problem with that in principle if it's done well. I don't accept that it's not possible to do it well. I think it's been told a few times, a few different mediums. Like, I think there's a way. What I'm saying is, I think there's an entertaining, fun action romp with a bit of icky sci-fi stuff in there. I think the reason that's been matched up in media, not just because they're both owned by Fox, but it's Ultimate Predator, Ultimate Prey. Makes sense. Set it in the kind of Aliens time frame where there's colonial marines and whatever, which it appears to be because it's the yellow Weyland-Yutani logo. Like, I have no problem with that in principle. I think people love to really kind of bulk at it on the basis that, well, not liking the idea of that makes me very smart. You know, I always felt like that kind of thing. It's like, well, you can't do that because mashups never work. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I think you probably could. I'm not begging for it. Like, I'm not dying to fucking have it, but I do it well. I don't mind, you know. So it's kind of hard to know what to think because definitely the trailer made me go, ugh, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Yeah, it's got a lot of modern sensibilities about it. I don't mind the look of it. It sort of has, but it has a sort of Star Warsy look to it. You know, recent Star Wars sequel look to it.
It's very green screen. LED volume look.
Yes.
Which is...
Yeah. And And the Predator doesn't look. I mean, I'm sure they've done a lot of augmentation with CG and stuff to make it look more photorealistic, if that's even a thing. But nothing beats that original Stan Winston costume. I mean, nothing has come close to that. It's so ridiculous. The further we get from it, the worse it gets. It's so weird.
When they do good ones, they're imitations of that. You know, I quite liked the one in Prey because it was so different. And it was just doing a different thing, and then it's like, yeah, okay, fine, you're doing something different. But it's when because even the one in Predator 2 just kind of looks ugly by comparison. I don't know quite why that doesn't work. It's kind of brassy, and it's just like, well, that needs more spikes, that's more edgy, and it just feels, meh, I don't know. Yeah,
it doesn't feel as. But again, it's probably overexposed. I mean, I think a lot of the what works about the first one is it's in darkness. You know, they cover it in sort of KY jelly and make it look a bit gloopy, and they're careful with what they show, and it's like that works really well. And I know the one in Prey was a guy in a costume, and they did do some interesting stuff with it, but it's kind of like I don't know. I just think again we're messing with something that worked really well in context, not only just of the film and the narrative, but in the time it was released as well. It was able to be very. Predator's one of those films that I think the success of it is based largely on the fact that it over delivers. I think it's one of those films where you go from, you're not sure what you're expecting. You're just watching an Arnie action movie, and then suddenly there's an alien in it. And that really only really happens towards the end, because it's kind of like, well, all right, there's this thing that shoots at them sometimes, but it's invisible, so who knows?
Because it could be a guy in a special suit or something.
That's what. Again, though, I wish they would have got rid of that, it getting dropped off at the start. But anyway,
which apparently they didn't want. Like, I think John McTiernan didn't want that, and it's like, it's because it's quite subversive, really, for when it came out. Predator. I think that's probably part of its appeal, is that it was a come out of nowhere thing. So it's a new action movie, and watching, oh fuck, wow, it's about what? And I just don't know how much more you can stretch it. I did kind of. It's funny because there's lots of, because I thought Prey was. I said at the time, like, Prey was so brilliantly cinematic, and there's loads of really great setups in it, and just inventive camera work and good visual storytelling and kind of metaphor and stuff, and kind of telling the story through framing and edits as well as dialogue and stuff like that. It was really cool. So it kind of made me think, well, Trachtenberg, cool. There's some shots in this trailer that are super moody and super like that, and there's other bits where it just looks like the new Predator is just completely evenly lit in daylight, standing in a field, and it's like, looks like a man in a costume. A good one, an expensive one, good in the expensive sense, but like just looking at it and going, like, I want to watch it because I want to know what weird shit's in it, and also we'll review it for this, obviously. But like, it's.
I'm a bit like you. I'm on the fence because I kind of go like, how are you going to make a film where the Predator's the protagonist, and we're going to basically what? So Elle Fanning is going to be our eyes and ears, right? And she's going to say, she's almost going to have sort of like Chewbacca conversations with it or something. I don't really know. And how are you going to do that? But Dan Trachtenberg, he did make Prey. I think his idea was to make that film so that you could watch it. It could be done in Comanche, and anyone could watch it who didn't necessarily speak the language, and it had to tell a visual story. So in that sense, I guess we're in as good a hands as we can be to do this particular thing. I'm at a point. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love Predator. I think it's a great film, and I love the kind of the look of it all, and it's got a great sort of. But come on, like, and it is careful what you wish for, because with that generation who grew up and went, it'd be so cool to see more Predators. Why didn't they do more? Blah 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 blah.
The monkey paw wish of getting Alien versus Predator. All that's left is a desiccated fist.
You'll be sorry. So it's pretty much I mean, again, though, it's like it's hard to get annoyed because it's just like, well,
indeed.
Other than it's taking budget away from something that could be new and interesting.
No, well, that's just everything, though, isn't it? I mean, if I was 29, I'd be in a bedroom in a fucking Cambridgeshire village, like shouting, because that's what apparently was funny. 12 years ago, but now I'm kind of like, well, I'll watch it, and if I don't like it, I won't watch it again, and then I'll get on with my life.
That's pretty much how it goes. That goes for you lot too.
That goes for you lot too. I've gone cross-eyed. Yeah, so again, you never want these things to be bad, like, and it's in good hands, and I have a lot of goodwill for Dan Trachtenberg on this because he did such an excellent job with Prey. I thought it was really great, and you know what, it's good to have that. We talked about the animated thing. It's good to have that because you could put the samurai in the World War II in that, because if they just released a samurai version of Prey, it's like, well, we just sort of watched this. Yeah. Just putting it in different period and cultural dress isn't automatically interesting. No. So I get that he's gone like, fuck. What I will say, it's a very bold move. It's a big swing for the fence, and I'm always behind that. It's like, yeah, why the fuck not? Like, go nuts, mate. Fill your boots. Like
Shane Black did.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, did he though? And also that was so messed with. Like, I'm not saying there's a brilliant version of Prey, but I was about to paraphrase Community, where it's like, well, fucking up Predator is a bit like letting poop spoil. So like have at it. Like, I think that was kind of the thing with Prey. It's interesting that because we differ on Predators. I quite like it. You're not mad about it. Like, that does a decent enough job of being an alien planet whilst just being in the real Guatemala or whatever, you know what I mean? And whereas this has a real kind of LED volume look.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's really leaning into kind of being in the world of Alien, and I suppose it looks like the Alien Romulus version of the world of Alien, if that makes sense. So it's kind of got that slightly more modern look to it, but with all the retro shit in it. We'll get to it in a minute. Before we move on, we must, of course, touch on the trophy room.
Oh fuck! I forgot. Oh god, I forgot. Yeah. Oh
there's
god.
This
is what got us here in the first place. Don't do it again, you mad cunts! Like, what are you doing?
I know.
Well, no, I talked over you. Please, Duncan. We established.
No. I mean, because I'm trying to remember. There's obviously the Independence Day alien.
The Independence Day alien's head is in the fucking trophy room, which,
fine or whatever.
Fine. I mean, what does that even mean? Because it can't be in the same timeline. Because then everyone in Alien and Predator forgot to talk. Like, it would then means in Predator 2, like, Washington and LA was blown up the year previously. Because it's like, no, it's just like, what? No, and it's just a reference. It's like, why? Independence Day isn't even that good. Like, just because it's owned by Fox. Like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It? There was something else in there. I don't know.
There was another one.
Head or whatever.
Fucking.
Yeah.
I don't even know it was owned by Fox anymore. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'll Google it. This is
John McClane's dick, or fucking Jack Bauer's anus, or
Jack Bauer's anus.
Chloe, it's my anus.
It took my anus, Chloe.
the Yautja took my anus, Chloe.
Give me back my anus. Give me back my anus.
Oh dear.
Events occur in real time.
That's why he never shits. You never see him shitting because he can't.
You don't know.
Predators took it.
But as soon as that clock ticks down, he's off for a banging shit.
Rushing off for a foot stamper because he's been holding it.
His stamper.
He eats loads of cabbage.
There's like a T-Rex skull.
Oh, fine. That doesn't force me to try and reconcile a timeline. If they're like, no, it's the skull of Rex from the film Toy Story, they'll be like, oh, or it's the one from Jurassic Park, which aren't owned by Fox. Oh no. Oh, actually, to be fair, Toy Story is Disney, so it could be.
There was something else. There's a big sort of human skull with a hole in it, and I can't remember that.
Well, like a Cyclops or something. Or?
No, like a
like a blast hole.
A blast hole in it.
Land of the Giants.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Fucking Teddy Ruxpin. Anyway. Is he there? The fucking Fraggles. Is Bert Raccoon and Cyril Sneer.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to put like a Terminator head in.
Oh, yeah,
that would just be hilarious.
I mean, if you're trolling, then fair. But like the fucking Independence Day aliens, really? I mean, it's fun, but come on, Independence Day, really?
And it's like it's 2025. Dickheads like us will pick this apart on the internet. If you put it in your trailer, and then you're sort of creating all these kind of.
I make my fucking beer money from these videos, right? So every time you put one of those in, we're going to talk about it for the clicks. Cynical monsters. Sat here in my Primark flower shirt because it was a bit sunny today. Oh, fucking clicks from my... Oh, Independence Day's phallus is in it. It's a scrotum of fucking Johnny Five. Oh, what does it mean for the law? Someone edit the wiki. Anyway, go see Badlands in theatres, probably.
Well, this is what happens when people spin the, anyway, like we said, it's just this is what happens when you read far too much into something.
Well, because you were talking about, the Alien Romulus version of these things. Mm-hmm. There has been a exclusive clip called the gestation clip for Alien Earth, the new Hulu series based in the Alien universe. I've watched it twice with residual irritation from having watched Alien Romulus, which we did review, right? We reviewed that.
We did? Yeah.
We did,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So, set me off. What did you think about the gestation clip for Alien Earth?
Well, there's been a bunch of clips, I can't seem to keep up with them, because I went to look for the gestation clip just now before we started recording and found another one where a lady is attacked in a corridor. And it was a bit more... Because up until now, for me, it's been a lot of, basically macro photography that pulls out into the earth and then an alien goes...
And you saw the stock footage one, right? Like the fake...
Yeah, I saw that one, yeah. So it's been a bit like fan trailers almost, and it's kind of like, fine. I mean, I get it, it's fine, you're just teasing a thing, fine. The thing you're teasing, though, we're all quite well versed in and fed up with, so if you please cut to the fucking point.
Yes.
Frankly, sorry, I was going to swear because this was in the first...
Well, it's a bit like, if McDonald's did a thing and it was just loads of footage of people picking sesame seeds and then a macro shot of a sesame seed on a brioche bun. And then the next one's people, I don't know, pounding a vat of fucking horse bellends to make the burger. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, that's going to be a burger. I've had the burger.
Yeah.
I don't need this mysterious. Or it's like,
and then showing it to Donald Trump.
Yes.
As if it's something new.
Yeah. Yes.
Although that in that case that might work.
That might actually work. Yeah.
But it's just kind of the one that. And sorry, you asked me. I will talk about that clip in a minute. But the one I just actually happened across was the one where is it called "It's Coming" or something, where he's in
the guy
Mother.
in Mother, in the Mother room. Let's say,
in the Mother not room. Her in, and I guess that's the anyway. But yeah, the gestation clip. I don't care.
Do you know what?
I mean, it's just a CG,
and it's really long.
Yeah, tediously long,
real long, and I just what it was kind of the kind of macro photography stuff, which I assume is CGI, of gross things bubbling and stitching together, like divorced from this, is really cool. It's a very moody, disgusting thing. Good. I don't want 2 minutes of that to see a crate in the style of the popular Alien franchise of films. I am familiar with crates. I'm familiar with the popular Alien franchise of film.
The storage of said crates.
Storage of said crate. Stacking, piling, lining up, tipping alphabetizing, numerical order. But these ones have a thing in. I think it's written and directed by Noah Hawley, who did Fargo, which apparently is very, very good. The TV show Fargo.
The series, okay, yeah.
And Legion as well, which people really, really liked. I haven't seen either, but there seems to be a bit of a pedigree. Just to talk about positives, it might be nice to have an Alien series. I like the idea of a time where I'm going on Disney Plus once we go on the new episode of Alien is out. What an exciting, interesting show. It has Timothy Heffalump in it, who I like. I do like a bit of Timothy Heffalump.
Yes, me too.
And those are the positives. But equally, those of you who watched our Alien Romulus review, I just hate the kind of well, I've seen this though. It's just, well, I've seen this though, and the fucking this gestation one. It shows you the dining room from the Nostromo. It shows you Mother from the Nostromo. It shows you the sleep pod from the Nostromo. And now the thing is, as quite a big member of your target demographic, weirdly enough, I have seen Alien more than once. In actual fact,
but this is the perennial problem with these things. It's the same thing with the Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones thing's slightly different, but it's that thing of here's the thing you like: nostalgia, but subversion. And it's like, because it's for a new generation. It's like, well, sorry, who are you making this for? You're advertising it at me, but then making it for someone who hates these things. It's very, very odd, and I don't know that that's what they're doing here. I think what's curious by its omission is the Earth part of this, because it's like, well, that's just a Nostromo, and so we're slavishly recreating that. Fine, but then isn't that going to crash in the first episode and then we're on Earth? Which is nice and convenient for your budget, but it's,
because I think they've established that the Nostromo as a ship is like a pretty generic one that they make multiples of, right?
Yeah, it's a mining whatever.
So, thing. And the fact that they even made Romulus about the alien surviving the Nostromo is like, what? We must assume this is another one of those that looks so identical as to basically be the same thing. And I don't know if it's a bit, sometimes it feels a little bit like, nobody liked, well, this changed now because everyone's contrarian or people are young or whatever. Everyone loves the Star Wars prequels now because that's the good Star Wars that we've all been robbed of.
Didn't they re-release
Revenge of the Sith's anniversary was like last week or something. Like
it better than
when Disney took over, everyone was going like, and you can look this up, it's still on the fucking internet. We're so glad this has happened. George Lucas is dreadful. We're going to get good Star Wars now. And part of that course correction was J.J. Abrams just making Star Wars again. And the thing that seems to be going with Alien is kind of like, oh, you didn't like Prometheus, so we're course correcting that. But Romulus had fucking Ridley Scott producing it, so you've got the fucking Punch and Judy Muppet Ian Holm talking about black goo fucking Prometheus shit, and then this had a bit of that Prometheus black gooey stuff. And there's a synopsis, I think it's something I read is like, there's 3 types of alien. It's like, what does that mean? Because it's just a crate. If it's a squiggly thing,
well, that's because the gestation thing, that trailer, was it that one, or there was another one anyway where there was a thing in a crate that didn't look like an alien, but then there was an alien on top of it.
Right.
Like, okay.
Right.
And we did Alien. Thing is, we've done Alien on Earth. We did that in especially AVP Requiem, AVPR,
the best Alien and Predator film,
which was kind of like the town's overrun with at a certain point it becomes like a zombie film. If you put it on Earth, it's a zombie film.
That was just a rip off of Return of the Living Dead as well. Like, it's mad. And Return of the Living Dead had the wherewithal to be funny and interesting, which that AVP Requiem did not. So these are pre-pissed on chips.
Triple pissed on chips.
Triple pissed on chips.
But but like we said before, like it's the first one is it's Stalking Corridors. It's a slasher film in the monster movie. Blah blah blah. It's Dan O'Bannon's Star Beast, and then but the only reason why it's sort of half interesting is because they got a kind of auteur to make it, and was he an auteur? I suppose
I think up to a point, and I would say there were. That's the thing that had kind of multiple auteurs as well, because you've got like Walter Hill producing it, and then you've got obviously Ines Pinus, H.R. Giger, and Ridley Scott, and all these people doing something to an interesting degree. Anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, no, but just that's I think one of the even if you watch all these very long documentaries that came on those discs, the yonky donks ago, that's not a thing. Honky tonk. I don't know. Why not? It's they talk a lot about the design of the swords and the penis and all that stuff, and it's all psychosexual and it's all this kind of stuff. But it isn't supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like, that valve on his left cheek is for breathing out farts, but the one on the right. It's like people just pick this shit. Well, because
it's been you have to strip mine it. Yeah, there's nothing else.
Yeah, and you just think like, why don't you try coming up with something? So again, it's kind of like that clip of when she's trying to get into Mother, and the guys won't let her in, and it's kind of like the same old thing, and then the alien obviously attacks her in the corridor. That was a really well done, sort of more modern take on the kind of that thing from Alien. Fine, but I mean, are you making Alien or are you making an Alien on Earth? And then what is that? What does that look like? And do you know what it's going to be?
We've never really seen Earth, apart from Alien Resurrection when they arrive there at the end. We've never seen Earth in this universe before, have we? Well, that's not true. We see them on Earth leaving it. I'm choosing not to count that, but yeah, some small tech.
When do you see them leaving Earth?
no, you don't. Sorry, you see Wayland and Michael and David in Wayland's house while Wayland's being mean to him, looking out the window. Because actually, when they have the briefing in that cargo room, they're in space, aren't they?
So you're counting Prometheus?
Yeah.
Because in Prometheus they discover the cave and.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Thing,
yeah. I'm not very well versed in it because it's shit and I don't like it. Bluntly, and the point being, of course, as always, like I am so happy to be wrong about this shit, and I often am, and I will come back and say in 6 months' time, hey, do you know what, that fucking ruled? That was so good. Happily, if it's good, like I'm not going to double down on being wrong. Happy to be wrong, and I think I've come off the back of I've had a really long stretch of work. I'm quite annoyed and tired. You've got a young kid. I think we watched each other watch. You got two. Yeah. We watched each other watching it on because we were on Riverside, both watching it. And I think you were watching the Predator one. I can't remember, but you were just going. Yeah, this really.
You went at one point. Richard just went.
That was,
and you had to force your head back up to keep.
Yeah, like
watching.
a baby. It's just the whole. Yeah, I don't know. It's a prequel to Alien apparently. So fine,
what?
Apparently.
Oh no, that's
so maybe it is Nostromo. It's the original Nostromo crew actually before they were picked, and it's oh my god, it gets by orders of magnitude less interesting when it turns out the Nostromo was actually blah blah blah. If it is that, and it's no, because it was interesting because they could be anybody because they were just poor saps on their space truck, and the company chose them for their nefarious shit. It's not. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean it is. I suppose they're being. You could either look at it as that they're being choice with what they're releasing, and sort of so they're keeping it mysterious. Mm-hmm. Or they're doing it because there's nothing to say. There's just nothing to say. I remember thinking that. I think I said that in our review for Romulus. I was sort of half enjoying it until the canary in the coal mine bit, and I thought that's a bit on the nose. And then it was when they took off to go to the Romulus, and I just went, "Hang on, I'm going to watch. We're going into the second act, and I know what's going to happen now.
You've got nothing.
I've just got to sit through this same roller coaster."
And like I said at the time, they were genuinely very interesting sequences, but then it was just here's more of the same. It's and then it's I know what's going to happen. There's nothing here for me, and now because I'm in my case, in a fucking everyman cinema in Crystal Palace with my cup of tea, this is the next 2 hours of my life.
Yeah.
So the one thing I did from my extensive research, I found something that I think you're going to like, and it certainly cheered me up about this film. Shall I tell you what it is? And I'm not being sarcastic either.
Please do.
It's got Ade Edmondson in it, which I don't care if the thing he's in's rubbish. Ade Edmondson, fantastic.
Okay.
Any relation?
Very
yes,
good.
actually. So it's got Ade.
Yes, sure.
Ade Edmondson's great. I'm not mad about The Last Jedi, but Ade Edmondson's in it. And I'm happy for that.
That's great. That makes me happy. I sort of think, is this another spreadsheet thing of is this making the TX female, or is this you've actually got some reason to do this other than we've never done it? It's you've never made them fart the Star Spangled Banner.
You haven't given them tits. What?
So
I totally get that.
I suppose it's going to be that thing of you're going to get facehuggers released and they're going to go and jump on a bull or jump on a tiger, and then you're going to get tiger aliens and those toys you used to get. You're going to get that.
Or in whatever video game.
And then the Predator, right. But I bet you at some point it'll be and now the Predator's got to come and sort it out, and then we'll just get AVP again.
The facehuggers are on the surviving members of S Club 7, or.
I guess the thing you can say is it's set in the future at least, so it's set so it won't be they're going into Walmart.
Yeah,
it'll be
because that was the whole thing of fucking AVP2 being set in bumfuck, and it's oh my god, this feels like a straight to video slasher thing. As you point out, a zombie movie, and it cribs so much from Return of the Living Dead, but which ironically was fucking written and directed by Dan O'Bannon, So anyway,
that film wasn't totally unredeemable. I mean, there were things in it. a nice idea. There were good sequences in it, like the power station and stuff that just gets forgotten. It was totally superfluous, but it was like visually they did some good stuff with it. But it was
really. I mean, it's famously very dark. It's a horribly underlit film. The Wolf Predator is a cool Predator design.
Oh yeah,
that's cool because it mostly looks like the original Predator, but that's a good Predator design.
Mm-hmm.
That Predator looks cool. But yes,
because that was called Aliens versus Predator, wasn't it? Whereas the original one was Alien versus Predator. So I know, I hate it so much. This is one of those things where you just go like, I can't get a thing greenlit by you twats, but you'll happily chuck more money at this, and I know they'll go, but it sells, and it's like, but does it? Because I'm sort of like, I think audiences have spoken of them, and they've spoken with Star Wars, they've spoken with Indiana Jones, they've spoken with, arguably, with, I mean, it's hard to say with Predator because obviously we haven't had a theatrical release since The Predator.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
With this one, with Alien, it's kind of like Romulus. Did Romulus do well? I'm not even sure
I
it did.
don't know. I'm so numb. Nothing means anything anymore.
Well, it's like, because these were the things that lit up. These were blockbusters, right? They were like literally people queuing around the block to watch these things, and that you just can't say that of stuff. It is. I mean, sorry, Barbara Broccoli, but it is content, not because it should be viewed as such, but because it is sort of like, this is how people.
Tis the world we live in.
Yeah,
tis the world we live in. Yeah.
I don't know. It's more for the content mill. I think who's to say whether it will be any good or not? It might be, but I've really no interest in this anymore. And I think, and they must know that the mood, the cultural mood, is against it. I mean, because I know Romulus is sort of considered a big success, and it's like, but really, like, to me, it's a bit of an Emperor's New Clothes situation.
Yeah, I know, and it's just like, I mean, there's certain things it's kind of like, no, it was amazing, and I'm like, why? It's just more of the same. It's not. One of the reasons Aliens works so well as a sequel to Alien is because it very successfully changes the formula but keeps it recognisable.
Yeah,
it's
it makes the familiar
horror.
Unfamiliar, and
exactly, and that's not easy to do. You can't just say, "Oh, just go do that again," because you can't, and I wouldn't expect that, because you just happen to have captured a young genius at the beginning of his career and got him to do your thing, and left him to it as well.
For the most part, I think the thing, which is odd, that then they really got all the cooks in the kitchen for the third one, because
they got another new genius on the up and up and fucking destroyed it for him. So they didn't get in David Fincher's way, you know what I mean? It's true. He's gone on to become fucking David Fincher, so that's that. Well, I think it's time to wrap up this particularly funereal episode of our show, one in which we're both quite tired for differing but probably quite similar reasons. I spent 40 minutes of last night trapped in a lift in an event venue with 5 other techs, and the fire brigade had to pull us out.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I didn't get home when I was expecting to, and etc. And I had a 3-day block of work. I'm really grumpy. I am. I'm going to work tomorrow. It's going to be a fun one, but I reserve the right to be grumpy about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So if you want to find us on social media, you can find me, but I don't go on it anymore because it stresses me out, because everyone talks about war all the time. But I'm at JacksonJackson83 on Instagram. I might post from a laptop, but I don't do it on my phone because my girlfriend told me to stop because it's making me stressed. Where can you be found on the internet?
I'm generally about, if you want to find me on Instagram, I'm at Duncan Casey Actor. I think it's my handle. Oh, here's my handle. Nice. Here's my spout. Oh. I won't show you that.
Lift him up and pour him out.
It's depressively average. But anyway, I'm on X. I don't do X. I never have done X since before it was when it was Twitter. The Twitter formerly known as, or the X formerly known as Twitter. I don't really do it. But hey, reach out. I've got open DMs on there, so you can always shoot me a message if you want. I may or may not get back to you. But yeah, Instagram's probably the one I use more.
Leave a comment on
Facebook.
here, of course. A lot of our lovely regulars
Please do.
We have a very lovely following of people who we love very much, and they're very friendly and nice. So you can interact with them below.
We do also have a Patreon, which I should plug. There's the link for that is in the comments below. You can join for $1, and if you would like to, we've just released, for those of you who have followed us over the years, we've just released a commentary to the 1977 Spider-Man TV pilot. So if you want to hear us say the same things we said 12 years ago, whatever long ago it was.
It's a less funny version of the same thing that costs money now.
So yeah, you're really selling.
Yes, and of course that does mean we therefore have a Patreon. So there you go. So yeah, all right. Thanks very much. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. We love you. We'll be back when more stuff comes out, and we'll try and do some more. Hopefully some more non-trailer related things. You know, maybe I'll try and squat out a review of Thunderbolts after I've seen it on Friday night.
Right,
and that's it. Smash cut to credits.